Right, so we've got a new segment that we're starting off to this week that we announced last week, and that is the
Oh.
science story. Except we should call it something else, like fucking awesome science.
Science, bitch. I like that. Science, bitch. It's very,
Well,
Breaking
but-
Bad.
We have multiple listeners, so it should be science, bitches.
Science, bitches.
I
Word.
like it.
Science, bitches. Sorry, I'm just sorry. Just don't look at me like that, guys. I don't. No
We're
one
all
can tell.
judging
They're just,
Joe
they're
right now.
judging me, giving me dirty looks. Okay.
Get on with the show.
All right, so I was looking for a really cool science story to talk about this week, and Matt actually found that pretty cool science story about malaria. But I was on livescience.com, and I found this really cool story about fossilized tropical forest found in Arctic Norway. And they have a couple of illustrations of what the trees looked like, and they have a picture of the fossil itself, and it's pretty cool looking. I was reading up on the story, but the reason why I decided to stick with this story is because some of the comments, they're bad.
So, real quick, explain the story first.
All right, so I'll give you the gist of it. It's a tropical forest, densely packed with 12-foot tall trees. Dr. Seuss would have loved it because they were just kick-ass. They lived somewhere near the equator about 380 million years ago and stuff. So this is one of the first forests that existed on the planet. And so before this, our CO2 emissions were extremely high.
I don't know if emissions is the right
Or
word.
sorry, so yeah, our
CO2 levels.
our CO2 levels. Sorry,
We've been polluting for a long
Yeah.
time.
so our CO2 levels were extremely high, like before bacteria and fungi and stuff like that could exist. This they believe these trees helped bring down CO2 levels and help produce more oxygen for the planet, which I thought was extremely cool and we could discuss. They were older than expected. They helped drop the CO2. It shows early diversity through the palm-like trees. Really interesting story. Thought it was fun, and then I started. Of course, let's see what the comments say. Such an idiot thing to do.
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
and
you
then
have
I
a-
start seeing things that just really piss me off. And it's mostly I don't know why some right winger would find livescience.com and go on it and leave some stupid fucking comment about, oh, unfortunately, all of the evidence, and they put it in quotations, of evolution comes to a screeching catastrophic halt when confronted with the reality of genetics. And it's like it doesn't even really speak genetics in here, and just they're totally off the wall. I mean, they may have a good point. Like there's this other guy who talks about decaying matter, and let's see. All right. Slight snag for evolution is plant material breaks down quickly in the tropics. So how could these survive to get fossilized using processes that exist today? You show me a forest being fossilized today without catastrophic conditions. They go off and they said it happened because of a great flood that covered the whole. And it's like, no, dude. Back when these trees were first on the planet, one of the very first forests, there wasn't things to decay the plants. The plants were some of the first things on the planet. There wasn't bacteria and fungi and stuff like that decaying these trees. It was easy for them to just sit there and be fossilized after they died. It wasn't. The more science you learn, the better off. Oh my God! I can't stand these people. It drives me nuts. There's hundreds of them.
I love that his comment the first one had nothing to do with the article.
Yeah.
About evolution, and I find it so entertaining that religious people always try and argue against evolution.
No matter what. Like right here, if she wanted to argue anything, it should have been climate change, because it talks about climate change. It talks about how the CO2 levels that existed before these trees were around or during these trees were extremely high. Like, we couldn't survive.
And
nowadays, with those high of levels. It's just it. But yeah, she any chance anyone gets, dude. Oh, see, evolution is dumb. Want to know why? And it's like, no.
Yeah,
you
and
didn't. That does nothing to do with what is being said here.
yeah, and I'll grant, if I'm arguing with a Christian or whoever, I'll grant them. All right, evolution's fake, even though it's not. That doesn't get you any closer to your God being real.
Yeah.
So why it doesn't do anything for
they
your
said
argument.
if God came down and showed himself, or if science proved God existed, how about that? If science proves God existed, the Christians and the Muslims and this person and that person would have a really hard time deciding on which God it is, and there'd be wars. There'd be more wars than what's going on now. He's my God. No, he's my God. And science would be like, well, we just proved that God could exist. That's all through these particle testing, blah, blah, blah. Whatever science would do if it did decide that. And, oh, fuck, man. They'd lose their shit. It'd be annoying. Oh, my God.
Yeah, there's a flood.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean there was a flood, you idiot.
So I did have a question. So essentially, also for the forest that is in Sweden, you said?
It's in Norway. It's
Norway.
in Arctic Norway. So what's pretty cool about this, too, is through plate tectonics, or continental drift, the forest was around, they think it grew somewhere near the Arctic, or not the Arctic, the equator. And stuff, and just through tectonic movement and all that stuff, they found it in the Arctic in Norway. So that's real. Oh man, that's such a cool story. Yeah, it was such a cool story. It caught my attention. Then I saw the comments, and I haven't been able to focus on the story anymore. It just drives me nuts.
Sounds like there was a shift, and I think it's funny how a lot of people love oil, but they can't understand. Like they refuse to comprehend how oil shell came to be. Like there's just no way that it's.
Oh, I know. It's all
flood.
organic material that's been dead for billions of years that didn't really decay because there wasn't a lot of decaying processes out there.
Yeah,
process. It just.
And if it was due to a flood, it'd be really easy to recreate oil and recreate coal, and it'd also be really easy to pull CO2 out of the atmosphere and make coal and oil if that's what we needed to do. We wouldn't need to tap into these these reserves that we have. We could just fucking make it, but it's a long process. It's like diamonds. You can't economically make a new diamond. You have to spend more money than the diamond's worth just to create it with explosions.
Yeah, you can
and
make
shit.
a fake diamond and stuff. They make them all the time, but it's not as pure as it's going to be if it was a real diamond compressed for thousands of years. Millions of years, exactly. And just the ignorance of it all is it's bewildering. I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't understand why evolution and all that just doesn't make any sense to them. All because they have a fear that their God isn't real.
And it's willful. I think a lot of it is willful ignorance. They have preconceived notions that their God exists, and they don't follow the evidence. They lead the evidence where they want it to go.